Hello there, commanders, and welcome to another episode of Total War Arena Battle Commentary. This time again we are on Salernum and we'll be commenting on Cynane Archers. Third time's the charm, right? Although we are not trying to do the same thing. Because what I want to focus on in this battle is to protect your archers, as in asking other people that play melee units to protect your archers. And at the same time, I would like to ask you not to protect your archers. And we'll get to as to why in this video. But first we need to wait to encounter the enemy. So let's look at the team compositions. As you can see, our team consists entirely of parties. The enemy team is pretty much the same. And a fun thing to notice here is that the enemy has 9 units of cavalry, and all 9 of them are here on this flank, and I'm archers. I'm again here protected by Max with double spearman, single pikeman. Foxgut has joined us after fixing his problems with the launcher. He couldn't get it to work, but yeah, there's just cavalry everywhere. Civoire is sending one of his cavalries, just Yonomid rushing straight into 8 cavalry units, tying them in one place, which allows my archers to catch up and deal some nice damage, because this is mostly barbarian cavalry. They have some Greeks in there as well. But this cavalry cannot approach me because Max is protecting me properly, and I get to shoot them in their backs. As you can see, by using hands I'm able to see them and deal some damage, but all they care about is just going straight to the point. They just want to pile in 6 units, 7, oh, yeah, I think 7 units on top of E, and as you can see, they got like half through capturing it in just a few seconds. But luckily Civoire charged in, did his job. Like, this is a suicidal charge right here, but he does his job and allows the infantry to arrive in time. As his unit is routed, infantry gets there, perfect timing. And while this is all happening, I'm dealing a lot of friendly fire, because why not? And obviously it is purely to kill all that cavalry that is here, punish it for doing what they're doing, and get myself some XP. I get charged is another lesson that you can take away from this battle, and that I also mentioned in my Greek Archers guide. Just go into melee if you can rout them. This time it was them that came to me, but I routed them. Instead of trying to run away, those units were pretty much dead and running to me blindly, so I got the surprising flank as well. The morale disappeared pretty much instantly. And Civoire is still holding here with his 1 unit against 3, so I walk up and help him finish them, clean up. One of them got away though, but our team's cavalry already snagged B, so they can't even go back here to heal. So they either need to die or try to run away all the way back to A or C, which they're capturing, and maybe they will capture. But does it look like it? Looks like we will probably make it there in time, because there's only 1 unit capturing, at least as far as we can see. I thought he ran through a friendly pike phalanx, but not, the pikes were dropped. Well, here in the city, oh, they're sneaking D from behind us. So yeah, our team on this flank isn't doing that well, even though the entire cavalry force was all the way out there. Although now they're moving in after respawning. Right after securing the top, getting hold of B, we're now coming down the middle. Pardon, no, barely. I told him to do just charge, get in there in time, and he managed to literally get there last second. A few more and C would have went to the enemy. So yeah, all he needs to do now is stay inside the circle until Foxgut, Max, and I arrive. And yeah, dislodge that enemy infantry. Oh, you did a really good maneuver. You scorch earth and then engage them in melee with protection of Defiance. So Defiance gives you a little bit of a shield, so that shield is going to be consumed first, and only after that is consumed you'll actually start losing your HP, so that's really good in such a situation. The guy used Vengeance, now gets routed by Foxgut, by rear flank and left flank. and we are going to take control over C. Since there's so many of us, we get it very, very quickly. So yeah, my allies are protecting me properly, haven't lost a single model yet, although I have taken some damage. That's no big deal. And we've leveled up by 1. That's looking really good, but now we need to establish control over the city. We have taken D under control, but in 10 seconds it will become available and we will be able to get it back. There's some threat towards our base, but CVR is nicely taking care of it. So we go towards that city. There's a lot of really good targets that I could shoot, but I wouldn't be able to shoot them without my allies' protection providing me that safety. Very nice CVR's charge, straight into the wall. 10 out of 10. There's some cavalry threat in here. I stop shooting them, switch my target as I see that they're approaching. Good cavalry player, Amaki. Props to you. I have no idea who you are, but good job for stopping that cavalry from reaching me. Cavalry players doing their job. Yes, cavalry players, your job is not only to hunt enemy archers, it is also to stop enemy cavalry from getting to your archers. Something that a lot of cavalry players are not aware of. Just don't want to bother. Archers, if protected well, they can be absolute monsters and carries given the right circumstances. And here I have enough soft targets to actually target and deal damage to. That is exactly what I do. As you can see, I'm not dealing any serious damage to these Roman infantry, so I immediately switch to javelins as soon as they enter my range. I am able to walk a little bit forward. Going to be mindful, there's some archers shooting me as well, I think from the fog of war. And there is still a huge swarm of Roman infantry that I need to deal with. But having that 1 XP advantage already gives me a nice boost. Can we see it? Yeah, we can see. +4 to missile penetration and +11 to missile damage, which does make a difference. And as you can see, those damage numbers are getting bigger and bigger, and we try to snowball with it. Max protects me really well from both sides, as we know that there's cavalry roaming in the area. So yeah, he keeps me safe. He's this cavalry bogged down at D, doing also a good job. As long as this cavalry is alive, we are not getting D. Only once it's dead, we will be able to do it. Okay. An enemy, a sword unit walks up here, engages Max, trying to get to me. I think they even managed to charge me a little bit because some of my soldiers are stuck in there. So I might lose them, but that's no big deal. I instead focus here because, yeah, they still have D, they have a spawning zone here, which means we are in trouble as long as the spawning zone exists. We really need to get rid of that cavalry. Holy shit! It's tanky somehow, it's not skippy one off of Perseverance, but yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Another cavalry player just spawned in, so I immediately retreat. Luckily he's not very smart and runs straight into Max's phalanx. I stop shooting, so that, you know, I don't shoot Max. But as soon as he pulls away and stops, I shoot him in the back, and there we go, I leveled up again, level 2 already. Max as well, at least on this unit, level 1 on the other 2. So yeah, we are doing pretty well. We got back D, and now we are free to push A, although they still they have already respawned quite a significant portion of their troops over here already. We're getting their base, which is nice, but yeah, spoiler alert, here in the top left corner, we are not getting it since the battle is going to last 18 minutes. But yeah, we push forward, there's some no, that's not bad, just focus fire incoming. So I dodge it, get out a bit damage, but yeah, still no big deal. Max pushes in, provides me the vision that I need, and I am able to respond to these archers while not being seen myself, because there's nothing here that could possibly spot me. Maybe these units could spot me, but I don't think they have that big visual range. Well, now I get here in front, so now they definitely see me. Now they use barrage and snipe, so I just doge. Though Max has lost his unit over here, went through stakes and probably not vengeance, but yeah, didn't stand a chance there. So I'm just trying to clean up these archers, get some damage in onto this unit as much as I can, because it can go into the Testudo, and there we go, it does. So yeah, as long as it is in melee, it cannot go into the Testudo, so I wanted to use that opportunity for as long as I could. This guy is trying to retreat his base, and he'll get it. Yep. I couldn't shoot him there. I believe there was no angle. And there's some archers here again shooting me from the fog of war. I'm dodging the shots, focusing on that unit is here, and I am using that XP advantage. Normally it wouldn't be that big of a damage that I could deal with them, but because I'm 2 levels above them, I get 25% to missile weapon damage and +9 to just penetration. That damage suddenly starts being quite significant, and you can see here 60, 69, 69 damage into the back of those veteran legionaries, ara. And they are forced to run away, although not really, could have just used the studio, but I guess they're afraid of Max's pikes that are now pushing through the stakes just to get to that SSR. That's going to be interesting, because the stakes also completely fuck up your formation. But I'm here to provide friendly fire, or not really. No, I decide to go around, ask Max to provide vision. Well, by providing vision, he just finds archers. Just like that. Will he be able to catch him? Nice barrage, bro. He just gives up on life, apparently. Uses barrage by mistake. He's like, well, if I use barrage, I might as well stop and try to shoot, but... oh, he got charged the very second he stopped. So yeah, now I get really good friendly fire opportunities. As you can see, a huge enemy blob in a tight street. So there's no way they can run, no way they can disperse, nothing they can really flank me with, etc. So yeah, a really good position here for me. I do eat some javelins from these barbarians. Oh, actually Carthaginians. Well, it's like Carthaginians are half barbarians and half kind of Greek-ish. Well, I guess they're on their own thing. But I'm still kiting. Max is slowly getting overwhelmed by the amount of enemies. After all, those are like 4 enemy units versus only 1. But yeah, I still keep providing him support, and we do have that huge XP advantage. And thanks to that, because I'm protected pretty well, I haven't lost many soldiers, so my damage output is still pretty huge. And even though it is a 4v1 in terms of melee, just because of my range support, Max is actually able to win this engagement in the end. Luckily, we are in a city, so it is pretty much a perfect environment, because otherwise they could just, you know, split up and surround him and rout him and get to archers, etc, etc. But because we are in this particular map, in this particular area, that is actually possible to pull it off. Just barely get here range for these units. Not ideal. I barraged, yeah, I shouldn't have, but I guess I wanted to anyway. I think I wasted this guy's barrage because he used it, and I immediately retreated and I ran out of his range. And that's also good. Yeah, Max in the meantime has healed up 2 of his units. He's coming back with them, and he's recruiting his 3rd one to do the same. But the enemy still holds a firm control over A. Fog's got in the meantime, finds his way to this healing zone and starts to disrupt the enemy, although he's getting slowly killed with some pikes. But that gives me also another very nice opportunity to shoot straight in there, and again that XP advantage just does its job. More and more units spawning in, and more, there we go. And all of that just feeds to my XP, as I should have done from safety. Yeah, Max still didn't make it here, but yeah, he's getting close. And then now against a huge blob of enemy archer units as well, I'm going to probably start suffering some damage, but I also get plus 40% body armor, so when these archers are shooting me, they're probably only hitting me for AP only, and while I shoot them, just like over 100 damage per arrow. If they shoot me, well, they still do significant damage, 30, 40, but it's not 100, right? They still deal a lot more damage, and they cannot win that duel, even if they outnumber me. So I just confidently stand there and farm my XP. One of the units is already level 4, there we go, another one. And 3rd one soon to follow, there we go. All my units are max XP. And now we should drive this advantage home while I cannot level up anymore. You got Amaki coming in again from behind. Beautiful charge. Really, really nice. Could have aimed a little bit to the left, but I guess these archers just dodged. So, well, they give me something. They give something for me to shoot at. While Amaki deals with these javelin, etc. But yeah, now there's something I want to touch upon. I said yes, protect your archers, but also don't protect your archers when it's not necessary. For example, in this situation, right? I don't really need protection here. There's nothing that can threaten me. I mean, there are units over here that can threaten me, but we see them and we know that they can go over here. Espada will block him. They can go over here. Max will block him. They go over here. Espada will block him, right? And we can see them from far, far away. Fogzord is coming in as well. So we know we are safe, and if there is any threat, we have more than enough time to react to it and escape, for example, through here. Although it's quite risky, because if you try to escape through here and someone suddenly spawns, well, then you're kind of fucked. Unless it's another ranged unit, I guess. So in situations such as this, yeah, you should stop protecting your archers and just go and engage melee infantry that is in the area, right? Or whatever other units that are in the area. Because if they're engaged like here, but even though they could possibly be a threat to me, well, if they're surrounded like this, good luck. Good job, Mr. Walking into Stakes. Chinese lags. Wanted that for the 420 meme. That's why I did that. But yeah, the enemies actually snag D again, probably with their cavalry. So even though we hold control over A now, after such a long struggle, well, it's partially because of the stakes, just because they put down so many stakes, that delayed us so much. Max actually, as you could see, he didn't give a fuck about stakes. And maybe that would have worked if it wasn't a pike unit, but because he worked for a pike unit that heavily relies on actually pinging information, and pike units, well, the formation just gets obliterated once it fights through the stakes. For pike units, it wasn't very good. But yeah, otherwise, maybe good idea to walk for stakes, maybe just try to destroy them and then walk through them if you absolutely need to, once the enemy engages you. But yeah, they delay, because they're not only an actual barrier that deals damage to you, they're also a psychological barrier, a deterrent towards a lot of other players, because they don't know how to deal with stakes, and then they just don't, and they just walk around. But that's very often not the best idea to have, and you should actually deal with the stakes, because, well, then what happens is that the D gets snagged before you can even get to aim. Well, they're farming some nice as well. I got into the base to get some capture points, I guess, just before the battle ended. And there we go. The lesson from this battle is protect the archers, because they can, if they are well protected. As you could see, I didn't heal a single time. I didn't need to heal a single time throughout this entire 18 minutes battle, because that's how well I protected was. So shout out to Max for being absolutely amazing. And folks got in pardon on, even though they weren't like directly next to me, they kept engaging enemy threats, and if they engage the enemy threats can get to me. That works as well. Also shout out to Sivolar, who wasn't in my party but still was in that battle and helped out as well. He had his own like range party or something. So yeah, what I want to say is you need to be smart as a melee player, no matter if you're melee infantry, spearmen, swordsmen, barbarians, Greeks or whatever, Romans, or cavalry. As long as you have melee capabilities, you need to be smart. And remember, those people who take archers are not necessarily all noobs, and maybe it's worth investing in them, because they can then return that investment to you and to your team, as evident in that battle. And there is kind of a stigma within the Total War Arena community that whoever takes archers is a fucking noob, and I guess I just help to reinforce that, because I am a noob myself. So, you know, take it with a pinch of salt, but just saying that not necessarily, you know, leaving archers to their own devices, or any ranged unit for that matter, is not always the best of ideas, and maybe try to be nice once in a while and see if that pays off. But also be smart about it and don't just completely be blind. Like, okay, I'm protecting archers, so I'm always standing on top of the archers and not moving my ass anywhere, and I'm just protecting. That's also wrong. Be smart about it. When there's no need to protect the archers, don't protect the archers, then go off. Just don't get those two things mixed up, and when you need to protect the archers, you stop protecting archers because I, told you not to. So if you're not that experienced and cannot recognize situations very well, and you're not sure, like, are these archers actually safe in this position, and can I go with my units further away and start engaging the enemy in this particular situation? If you're not sure about that, I would say it's just better stick with your archers and protect them, because that's the safer approach, better safe than sorry, and in most of the situations it will be the correct approach. But there are situations where you just should stop protecting the archers, or where you're not really stopping to protect them, because you keep protecting them just further away from them by a different mean, by just standing right next to them, right? And it's not about just stopping the incoming enemy charges. It's much more than that, and you need to be aware of the overall situation and be smart about how you actually protect the archers. So I guess by saying do not protect the archers, I still am saying protect the archers, just in a smarter way. But yeah, that's the point of this video. Let me know in the comments below how much full of bullshit I am for saying something like that. And friendly fire that like button and subscribe button below, because yeah, those statistics are pretty poor on my channel. Shout out to Crisis, who came up with that idea of friendly firing the subscribe button. Yeah. Okay, so with that, I'll see you on Arena's battlefields, Commanders.